Okay. Yay. Thank you, Brian. So this is the agenda for today. And right here, right where it says the title, Seesaw Basics, it will link to a PowerPoint that has a beginning, I promise, that goes step by step through everything. And that sometimes there's even links down at the bottom to different things. There's a lot of, Seesaw is awesome for many reasons, and one of them is that there's a lot of help. So the first thing that we're going to do is figure out how to log there. Everything's slow. To log in or sign up. So if you type in seesaw.com in your browser, it will take you to this link. And you can see where to sign up for, or so if you're following along, I'm going to give you a second. I'm going to go ahead. It will take you to here where you choose if you're a teacher, a student, or a family member, or an administrator down here. And that's only if for the paid subscription, I believe, which we don't have district-wide. And you can see that the web address here is seesaw.me. That's the website that students will be going to access it unless they have an app. So I'm going to go ahead and click on I'm a teacher and sign in with Google. So you can see that I already have a class here, but the first thing that we're going to do is create a class, and you are allowed to have up to 10 classes. So if I click over here by my name, first of all, I'm going to show you where this little cogwheel is. Under account settings, you can change your picture over here. Contact Seesaw support. And if you ever need to sign out, right there, if you want to switch to a student account to see what things look like, you can do that here also. So right here, actually when you first come in, it'll ask you to set up a class, and I'll show you what that looks like. And then the next thing will be to find your school down here. So I'm going to create a class. So when you first sign in, it will look like this, and you can see that you have a choice to import. Yes.
Can you pause for 1 second? Nicole's setting up her class. So she just wants you to pause for a minute.
Definitely. And then your classes will be listed over here, your existing classes, so that you can switch back and forth.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so you can see you have the choice to import from Google Classroom, or to just name your class, and then either way you're going to choose what grade. So I'm going to go ahead and import from Google Classroom. Again, you're going to have to allow access. And I have to choose a grade here, so let's just go halfway. And so it's imported my roster, which you can see right over here. So again, down here, it might ask you if it's your first time signing in, to find your school. You just click on it, and then probably Gail, but you can assign the same thing easily, unless you want to assign different. I'm not, yeah, unless you want to assign different courses.
So it doesn't force you to choose one grade level once you're inside there. You can pick assignments from different grade levels to assign to a class.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of pre-made assignments that are for like a range of things. So again, they'll ask you for your school, if we had a school account. So here's the class settings over here. You see there's a little wrench right here. If we click on that, these are our class settings. So, I mean, you can always change the name. You could change the grade if you needed to. Manage teachers, this is where you're going to add a co-teacher. So you could go ahead and invite somebody. And then they will get an email. And be invited to your class. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my settings. I can always change the theme. I can change the icon. There's all these that are pre-made. You see Sharon's trying to come back in. So I could choose something that's already pre-made, or you see that you have the option to upload an image. So you could have any image there, even a photograph of yourself if you choose to. So the next important part, student sign-in mode. If you click on that, you can see that you have choices. Class code for shared devices. At this point, it doesn't really matter. This is going to make them sign in and it'll sign them out for each session. You can see if you're changing, it will confirm it, and it will send you an email making sure that that's what you wanted to do. Class code for one-to-one devices. That'll make them log in, but if there's more than one student that's using the same device, they can always just log out and then someone else can use it. If they're older kids and they know how to log in with their email and their password, then I would choose that. Excuse me, but the first two are going to have a unique code just for the students, so they don't have to enter their whole email or their password. So I'm just going to go ahead and choose one-to-one devices here. And again, confirm the change. They're going to send me an email to make sure that I wanted to do that, or that I know that what it means. Then manage students. You can see that I already have students here because I imported them from my Google Classroom. If I needed to add a student, I would. If I did not link it to my Google Classroom and I have no students here, you're going to have to enter the students' names. You do have the option down at the bottom to paste a list of student names. So you could just copy and paste one per line. But you definitely do have to enter your roster before they will be able to join the class. Okay. I have to enter at least one student. Was there a question?
Nope.
Okay. So you could see for each student, you can go in and you could change their name to a nickname if you wanted to. You could change their icon. Or you can use their photo or a different photo. I know one of the activities was for an art teacher was to have them design their own little icon, and then they would be able to use that. And now I cannot get back. Oh, there we go. So you can see I changed it. You can link their family members if you want to. I know that you guys are probably already using Reminder Dojo, so I don't know that that's necessary at this point.
There's
but
a
just
question.
To let you, okay.
Can students change their names to nicknames?
I don't know that they have access to do that. I think that you are the only one that has access to do that. I think that they're just able to click on their name and do the activities that you put in front of them. So if they want to, I mean, again, I'm assuming it's an appropriate nickname. I know some teachers like in Dojo make them earn a privilege to be able to change their icon or whatever, but I don't believe they have that power. This is basically a student portfolio over time. It documents their learning over time. Right now it says Homes Learning Student Code. They've changed it because they want each kid to have a unique ID, because I'll show you the difference basically. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave that kid in there and get out of there. Okay, then I'm gonna scroll down a little bit further. Home learning student codes are here. Student likes and comments. Do you want them to be able to like each other's videos? Do you want them to comment on each other's videos? And then I would definitely have new comments require approval. Below that, students can see each other's work. You can decide whether you want that on or off. New items require approval. I would definitely recommend that that be on. Enable item editing, definitely, because if they accidentally submit it before they're done, they're not going to be able to go back in. They'll have to restart completely if you don't have that on. Excuse me. And I would always encourage you to enable the sample student, because that allows you to jump in as a student and A, see what it looks like, and B, if you want to do a demonstration for the students, how you want things done, definitely. If you want to go there and enable family access, you can do that. The blog, I'm not sure. I think that might be a premium service. I'm not sure. I've never tried to do that. Folders, you can organize your activities. Skills is definitely a premium service. I believe. Oh, you can try it free for 60 days. So that would get us through the end of the year. And that is basically just that you can track their progress if they're approaching mastery, if they're mastering, et cetera, et cetera. If you want things to save to camera roll, if you want to import from Google Classroom, say kids joined your classroom and you want to re-import, you can go ahead and do that. And then resetting QR codes and archiving the class. We don't need to worry about that. I'm going to go back up to home learning student codes. So you can see right here, students can't see each other's work. They changed it completely so that people will be able to do that. If you click download codes, you're only going to get like an Excel file. If you click print codes, even if you don't have a printer, you can see that there's directions. But for each student, you can see that this is where she's supposed to go to log in, or they have to use the class app on whatever device they have. And this is going to be her specific code. So in my Explorer, I'm logged in to that site. If I click, I'm a student. Oh, fantastic. It's not supported in Explorer, so never mind. You would just enter that code, and then you would be in her work. If they need a new code, you can always give them a new code. Otherwise, if I were to go down here and add a student, you know, my students are awesome. Then I can get a temporary code that anyone could scan, or they could go to the website and enter that code. But you can see that it expires in less than an hour, this code will. It's for increased security since all the kids are at home. During the school year, if it's a typical school year and we're actually in a school building, you'll be able to print a sign-in poster, and then kids can just go up and log in here, or you'll be able to print out login information for them. Do we have any questions?
No, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is add an activity. So if you click add here, and it says, we're going to do this in a second, try posting as a student. We're going to explore it. We're going to, actually, you know what? We should do that now. Let's just go ahead and get it over with. Where it says post student work, try posting as a student. If you're in along with me, go ahead and click on that. It's going to show you the different options that you have. that you have for what you can assign to them and what they can do. So you could see that if I were to click photo, Lord help us all, and I go ahead and take a photo, you can see that I have all these different, like I could make a shape. Oh, no, never mind, that's just select, sorry, I'm a ding dong. Okay, so I have a pencil here, so I can, and if I want to, I can go ahead and change my color here, annotate. I could type. Ooh, if I knew how to type, I could type. I could do a voiceover. So you can see here that I'm very artistic. And I just go ahead and click the little green when I'm done. But that's going to actually submit it. So I can go back. And you can see that it's still over here, unfortunately. I also have the option over here with these 3 dots that the kids love, that I can add shapes. So I can make that as big as I want it to be. I also can click back in here and add a background, which again, the kids love. So they can use graph paper, line paper as a background. I know it doesn't make sense per se with the picture. And then I can add a title down here and add a voice caption as to what my assignment is. I'm going to go ahead and just completely throw that away. But I hope that you were able to explore that one. Drawing is also fun, super creative way. If you were to have a pre-made like math problem or some sort of problem there, then they could annotate their problem and do a voiceover explaining it as they were doing it. You can see I, again, have the text box, the option to do a voiceover, the option to take a picture, and again, shapes and backgrounds, and to add my title and a voice caption explaining my assignment. And you can see right here, it's a draft. If I click that, like I'm going to assign it, you could see that I could do that as a sample student. It's giving me the options as I'm the teacher to choose which kid I am or where I want to put it. Fun video. So you can see that you just basically the same as any other video. When you're done, your internet becomes unstable. Fantastic. You can again caption it, explain what or reflect on your process, and then go ahead and submit it. Upload. You can upload any file, drag and drop, select it from your computer, select it from your Google Drive. If it's a file that is compatible, it will turn blue and you're going to be able to add it. Notes, which are always fun. You can type. And then when I'm done, I have the option to record a voiceover explaining it or to edit it before I submit. Sorry, I should say explain or reflect. And then add a link. So you could add a YouTube link, add basically any web URL that you wanted to. So those are the options. Within them, I mean, it's amazing the things that you can do. It might seem simple. Are there any questions about that?
Nope, you don't have any questions.
That was under add and then post student work. So the next thing I'm going to go to assign it activity. And you can see here is my library. These are assignments that I've assigned in different classes. If I wanted to create a new activity, I would create it here, or I could choose one that I had previously assigned. So say I want to create a new activity, I just click on this, title it, can see I'm super creative. And then give an explanation. And there are actually little icons. Like if you want them to use the voiceover tool or whatever. If you have younger students, you can add oral instructions for them to listen to. Answer the questions about the text. And then you can add multimedia instructions or an example. So again, choosing from here, say that I had done a Screencastify or a YouTube video, or Screencastify video uploaded to YouTube. I can just go ahead and link here. Or a video that I found somewhere else. Go ahead and link here. The only thing is there is no, I'm gonna move this. Go ahead to YouTube. Oh my gosh. Am I the only one that's obsessed with Mo Willems' lunch doodles? And I'm so even artistic. He tells such interesting stories. Okay. I'm gonna try to pause this before I blast you guys' eardrums out. Okay. So I'm just gonna go down here to the share. Sorry, it's loading so slowly. And then copy the link and go back to my Seesaw and paste it in there. So again, I could record a voiceover explaining what I wanted them to do, or I could caption it, give it a title, give some instructions there, whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and approve that. And then you can add a template for student responses. So again, how do you want them to respond? Do you want them to do a video response? Do you want them to draw? Do you want them to take a photo of the work that they did in their workbook and annotate it or explain it? Do you want them to upload a video, write a note about it? Do you want them to add a link to something? So let's just say I'm gonna have a video. I could do a demonstration video, but I don't want to. So let's just say a note. I'll leave it blank. Oh. For your response. And I'm gonna go ahead and approve that. If it will recognize me. Okay. So you can see that there's my demonstration there. I can have a journal prompt at the top and have them write it. And you can see here is my lesson. I want them to watch the video. I know it doesn't make any sense the way I set it up. And then write their response here. And then go ahead, I can assign it here to my little demo class. You can assign it, you can see, Gail, that you can assign it to multiple classes at once. So I could assign it to both of these classes at the same time, if you do end up setting up 2 separate classes. So are there any questions about that?
I do not see any questions right now.
Okay. Hopefully that means that you guys are doing awesome and you're enjoying yourselves and not that I put you to sleep. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go back to assign it activity. And you can see that you have the option here where it says browse the community library, or you can also click up here where it says community. So the other awesome thing about Seesaw is that it's for everybody. I just remembered something I forgot. It's for everybody. You can see because I entered that it's 6th grade, it's already there. But if I want to look for something different, say I want to look for some easier work or something harder or something like that, I can go ahead and do that. Say that I am a specialist. Again, with my lack of artistic talent, I'm just going to choose art. And you can narrow it down by grades. Say I want preschool. It will give you pre-made activities. So say I want to look at this. And you can see that they have instructions and that they have used, hang on, I've got to move my, anyways, I can't really see, but there we go. It finally popped up. I can move this. Okay, you can see that they have the little icons, so they can show them exactly what they should click on if the kids are younger. Say that I love this and I want to save it to my previously assigned things. I can go ahead and click this. And then I can assign it to here, or I can go back to my class and edit the directions. If I click right here, actually I could do it right here. I click right here, copy and edit the activity. That means that I don't mess up the original. I edit it, I remove it from my library. I can share it to another teacher. I can add it to my collection. I see maybe a question or a comment.
Everybody's just saying what a wonderful idea this is, and you can even use it as an exit ticket.
Absolutely. And there were more options down here, but I think those are more like the paid options. You can add teacher notes for other teachers if you want. That's not paid. But the skills, again, is the paid option. Try it free for 60 days. I know if you have a free trial, you can add more than one co-teacher. Otherwise, you can only have one co-teacher for free. So say that I edited something. Maybe I made a different picture or whatever. I just save it, and then I'm able to assign it to whatever classrooms I want to assign it to. So I'm going to assign it to both of those 2 classes. And you can see that it'll take you straight to those classes if you want. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my class. So you can see that I had assigned these 2 lessons. Say that I decided that I don't want that one. If I just click on the 3 dots there, I can get the activity link. See where it says share link here? I can go ahead and copy it. Go into my Google Classroom. I'm going to go ahead. Oh, let's not do it into, there we go. So I can click classwork, create an assignment, and then add a link. And there's the Seesaw activity. I can add the title, et cetera, and then assign it. Otherwise, if you want to put it in your Google Sites, you can go ahead and click the embed code.
So there's a question that says,
Okay.
if you can share the link, can you put it in your dojo story?
Absolutely, in your dojo, in your remind, anything. And again, the only trick with this is that there is a Seesaw app that's for teachers and for parents. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. But there's also a class app, which is for the students. So if they're going to download it to a device, they want the class app. But again, there's directions. You can go ahead, back in here, and get your home learning code. And if I were to,
Can they use Clever also?
if they set up a link to if they add it like as a link to Seesaw on their own, yes. I don't think it's going to automatically add because we don't pay for Seesaw schools. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Excuse me. So, okay, again, there's the instructions. but I could go ahead and take a picture of this or a screenshot, or just take this page and send it in Remind or on Dojo, like to each parent, as far as how to log in. And I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory, especially if there's they're using a phone or a tablet as a device. Chromebooks work. I mean, it works on every single platform. It's pretty awesome. Okay, so also when you're getting your download codes, this is what I forgot to show you last time. Down here, it says Home Learning FAQs and Lesson Ideas. So if you go ahead and click on that, they actually have a lot of information. So again, depending if you're an administrator, teacher, or a family, you can click on it. And it has like a planning guide for you, a little checklist. Here's the calendar of live webinars. These are self-paced. There are Google Slides and then videos on YouTube that correspond to them. Here's the code, how to get the codes in one page if you forgot. And then there's different how to log in at home. One page in English, one page in Spanish, also a video you can send to people. So many things. I know with the live webinars, they're adding the links after, so if you miss it, that's fine. They're here, but I know that there's one for special ed teachers down here that you could register to join. Sorry, exceptional students. Not that all students aren't exceptional. So they have a lot of support. Speaking of support, if you go back to my Seesaw, go ahead and get out of here. If I have a problem or a question, see down here, there's a little question mark. I can click down there. And it's basically a chat bot once it loads. So it's not really a person, but you can type a question. And you can see.
There's a question that says, is that support for a free account?
Yes. Yes. They have it. Yeah, they have a lot of support. So you can see it's giving me like different choices of things that I could click on. Again, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to another class that I am a co-teacher on, if it will allow me, now that everything is clicked. Okay. Excuse me. So once students have completed their work, you're going to get emails that say that you have unapproved posts. Go ahead and check them. You can see there's 2 unapproved posts here. If I click review, you can see that the student really wants to, she loves Seesaw basically. So I can click on it, check it, see if it's appropriate, go ahead and approve it, or delete it if it isn't. If I want them to redo it, go ahead and approve all. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to go over here, look at some of their work that they have done. I'm going to actually go switch over here because they're basically saying that there's no unapproved work for that student. Hang on a second. Okay, so now I can see his work. You can see down here that the teacher said, nice job. And this is so cute. This little girl in the class also gave a comment. Nice job. It's just adorable. So you can see that you have the option to like it, give a comment there, add it to a folder, get a QR code, say if you wanted to display it in the hallway. You can see it has a little activity there, and then the parents could click on that so they could see the activity or whoever it is. I'm going to go ahead over here, click on a different student. You can see that she didn't submit this one, but as a teacher, I can go ahead and click on it. You can see the teacher said, let's add something about your wonderful writing. And then the co-teacher said, think of 2 other examples. You have writing listed twice and picture and coloring go together. So you're able to give feedback there. Are there any questions about that?
Not right now.
Okay. So the next part is app smashing, which is basically where you put things together. So say that you recorded something on YouTube. You recorded a lesson. So it would be YouTube and Seesaw app smashing. I'm sorry, this is like, I'm going to start getting rid of some things here. See if that will help me. I need to think of one more thing. If I go back in here, and I'm going into the community library, if I were to change that to all, you could see that if you don't have a grade or a subject, they have home learning activities suggestions for you here for K through 5, older students, and then just routines for them to have, like daily reading, choosing books, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Can you show where they can get to that agenda, how they can do it on their computer?
Sure. If you go into your email, is one option. And then you're going to search Christine's Wiki. There we go. And then after that, I'm going to put the word PD. And you can see here, it says recordings, survey links, et cetera, et cetera. Use this link to find the original PD schedule with recordings. Actually, this is going to be for the earlier ones. I don't think she's been keeping up with ours now, right?
Not since yesterday, but I haven't put it up yet because it's taking so long. So
Okay. Okay.
so
So
they
that's
can go to
one.
the top link at the top, which takes them to our website.
Yes. So we go to the district website. It's probably the easiest way to do it. If you hover over departments and go to information technology and click on technology integration, right about here, it says webinars. And you're just going to scroll down. This is where all the recordings are, but it's also where the agenda is. So if you click on that, where it says Seesaw Basics, it will open it right up for you. I'm going to get rid of that one. And try to scroll down. And you can see that it's the bright pink survey there, in case you're looking for it. It's also on the slideshow. I have some resources. This Chris Janner on Twitter, he has some amazing Seesaw templates. If you're looking for, I'm trying to click on it and it's not doing anything. So you can see, like, he has this as a daily checklist for activities you want them to do. And if it looks more primary, that's fine. You can always edit these and go ahead and change them at will. But you can see he has a lot of different activities. So just a thought, if you're on Twitter. App smashing with Mr. Merrill's class. This is actually a Google Doc, I believe. And it gives you different options step by step. There's 2 volumes.
My favorite thing to do.
I'm sorry? I thought I heard somebody. So these are choices for different apps. If students have those, I would stick to ones that you know that they're able to do easily, like Flipgrid and Seesaw. And here is a link to a video tutorial, and it'll show you exactly what the screens look like, how you might want to use it in the classroom, and tips like that. So just some different options. There's different options in volume 2 as well. Trying to click on the next one. See if it will load. Basically, they're just different examples of app smashing. Are there any questions? Are you guys still playing in Seesaw? I hope so.
I don't see any questions right now.
Okay. Professional development with Seesaw, if we click on that, and it will allow me to do this. I'm sorry, I don't know why it's, okay. There we go. Maybe it doesn't want me to. Anyways, you can see it says PD in your PJs. There's all these pre-recorded webinars. Choosing by your grade levels. Say we're a high school teacher. If you're a beginner, there's the first 5 activities that they would recommend. Again, you might want to evaluate them right now to see if they're appropriate for home learning. Activity, just beyond basics once you get more comfortable with it, and then even more app smashing is like once you're more comfortable with it. Are there any questions about that?
Someone just said, would you use Seesaw instead of Google Classroom or Remind?
Right now, I would not make that change. It depends on what you're trying to do, because you could see that you can import your classroom from Google Classroom and then post them in Google Classroom. But there is that option to share with families if you want them to be updated, and then to be able to, like, say you're giving them a homework and if you have a video on there explaining how to do the homeworks if the parent's trying to help them, that is helpful. It doesn't mean that you have to not use the other. Again, if Remind is what your parents are using right now because we're in this situation, I wouldn't say, hey, I'm not using that anymore. Let's go ahead and change and do this, if that makes any sense. If you want to start fresh next year, assuming everything's going smoothly, that's up to you. What do you guys think?
I have to agree with you. I would put links to Seesaw in Remind and or Classroom, because that's what they already know and that's what they're already using. You don't want to inundate them with too much.
Or Dojo, if that's what you're using.
Right.
The other thing is that Seesaw is not going to grade this for you. So if you are using Google Classroom to grade and then uploading to Progress Book, you can't import grades from Seesaw, but you can import grades from Google Classroom.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point. The Seesaw Help Center. I can click on that. Again, you can go ahead and ask a question. There's some pre-made things. This is the whole section about remote learning, getting started, basics, beyond the basics. This would be for the paid schools program. Families, troubleshooting about Seesaw. I mean, basically any kind of help that you would need. And again, that chatbot's right there. So are there any questions?
No, currently someone just said they agree with you. Keep it simple.
Okay. So I guess what I would like to do now, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. And then I would like to kind of open it up to discussion as far as, like, how do you think that you'll use this? I mean, I think that it would be helpful as far as them being able to take pictures of their work, and then you could kind of track that easily, and it sort of organizes it for you. I do believe personally that it'll work for any teacher, a specialist, special ed, pre-K through high school. But I want to know from you guys, what would you do with it? How would you apply it? How would you integrate it into your teaching?
Can I say something if you guys can hear me okay?
Yes.
One of the problems that I run into is I must have handed them at least 18 pieces of paper for week 1, week 2, week 3, and then they want to, how do I get this back to you? And I've created all kinds of ways for them to get it to me, but it really rolls around with the idea that if they want to do it by hand, that seems to be the issue. I may have seen something. Would they be able to do it by hand and then snap a picture of it, or?
Absolutely. If you choose the picture as their response, definitely. I mean, you could do, let's say, a video lesson of you explaining how to do whatever, and then their response would be a picture, and then that would be it. And then they could do a little voiceover explanation of it if you want them to, but it's not necessary. And then you would have it tracked. All their.
I think there's something there.
Is there anybody else that would like to talk about how they could use this in the classroom?
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
We sure can.
Yes.
Okay. I love this program because, Tiffany, you know I teach students with autism. And what I can see doing with this is that because I teach multiple grades at different levels, I could use this as an extension activity so that when the student is done, they could actually come on here and I could actually have an extension of the lesson that they can do on here. And I could see, like, if I could embed board maker activities in here, then my nonverbals will have a voice to do what they need to do in here. I like the fact that I can embed videos and questions, and there's just so much you can do with this.
Awesome. And I have to say that the kids love it because they're able to be creative. I mean, how often does a teacher say, make a video about your learning, or, you know, I want you to take a picture of your work? Or I know sometimes when they were doing geometry, take a picture of a desk and then show me the it wasn't geometry, the perimeter and the area, like they could annotate on it. Tony has a good idea. She said, I have very shy students, and this would help them because they could then present to the class on the smartboard.
Yeah, and if they could record themselves and they actually don't have to get up in front of the class, it would just be, and some students like that because they actually don't like to get up in front of the class. So they do it right from their seat.
Definitely. And the possibilities are endless. I mean, you could have them make a Google Slides presentation. You could have them make a Google Doc. I mean, basically anything. This is just the basics, but once you get into it and start playing with it.
Somebody said to give their non-readers and writers a place to journal.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, how many YouTubers are famous for their vlogs? Anything else? I just wanted to give us a little bit of time to try to brainstorm some ideas for, you know, sometimes you think that a program's awesome, but then you're like, I can't see how I would utilize this, or I don't know where to start. So
I have a question. I was playing with take a photo, and I took a picture of myself. I added, changed the background. I put some hearts. I put a thing like I'm thinking, and then I thought I saved it. Where did it go? Did I create a draft?
Were you just in the where it's the plus sign, and then you were playing on the first line where it says?
Well, I hit the plus sign, then I saw the options. I hit the photo, then I'm seeing myself right now. It's like a live screen. I'm just trying to find the draft. I changed the background. I added some shapes, and then I put like a thinking, and then I said missing my students. And I thought, did I save that? Could I send them a picture of that? And I don't know what I did with it. I think I saved the draft of it. Where does it go?
That's so weird. I'm trying to play with it right now, and it's saying that the camera's in use by another. Oh, you know why I have to turn my camera off? Hang on. Let's try to figure this out. Some of us are. Okay. So again, no. Okay. So if it's a draft, it'll be here. I'm going to go ahead and just click it. Did you have to choose one of these? Because if you're in the first part, did this pop up? Save as a draft? Try free for 60 days? Okay.
Oh, wait, yes, I think I did. Yes, I did try that. I hit try for 60 days for free.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and, okay.
So where did it go then?
And then did this come up after that? Where you would choose? Because if you
yes, it did.
Did you choose a student, or did you choose your sample student?
I think I chose the top, and then I unchecked it because I was thinking
okay.
I don't want to send anything out.
Okay. So if you choose the top, then it would go to all the students, and then they would get that as a message, which would be, I mean, I'm sure they would love it. If you unchecked
I was afraid to do it. If
you unchecked it, then I think, let's see where it goes. It says you have to select someone, otherwise it didn't go anywhere. So say that I do, and okay, say that I do, because I don't want to send anyone my picture, but I go ahead and save it as a draft. Then I'm going to go to activities over here.
Okay.
And see if it's scheduled. I don't know where it went. That's a good question. Interesting.
Well, that's the only thing I wondered is if I create something, can I come back, improve upon it, and then send something out, something unique, something to just say I'm thinking about you guys?
You definitely can. It's just the draft part I haven't played with because that was the free trial or whatever, which I just activated and I don't see it here. You might have to go under assign activity.
Okay.
And then create new activity. And then you would add it here where it says add multimedia instructions. And then do whatever you want to do. And save it. And
okay, I think I've got it. I think I'm going to have to redo it and then walk through the steps like you did.
And then if I, this is the part that I don't. Also, if you do the free trial, I'll show you in a second. Okay, say that I save this as an activity and I assign it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, so sorry, you people. Assign it to one class. And then I go to the class and I'm like, you know what? That is a horrible picture. I don't want that to be there. I don't want people to get it. Just click the 3 dots, delete the activity, or I can, which is that if you have a draft, it should be here if it's an actual assignment. If you go up here where it says post student work, that's where they let you kind of play and experiment with stuff. When you assign the actual activity, that's where I think
Well,
it
I
actually goes.
know that
places.
I was in post-student work.
Okay.
That's where I was at when I was doing this. Well, you know what? It gives me something to do for the next 15, 30 minutes or so. Learn how to send a picture, gain something that I can apply.
Oh my gosh, that's a freaking horrible thing. I'm gonna have to take care of that in a minute. So say I click on assign. I actually didn't show you this. If down here, you can click schedule and then choose when you want it to come out. 11:03 sounds great. And then choose your class and it'll go out at that time, assigned to one class. And I can come over here and it should be under scheduled then. And I don't know if I did it right or not.
Now, if I
Anyways.
added all my classes in there, could I select all the classes and send them a picture just saying something like, thanking you guys, hope you're doing well, and then send it? Would they be able to get that, or would they be sent a reminder even though if they're not in my class? They've never been in my class yet?
Do you use Google Classroom?
Oh, sure. So I would send a link
Yes,
through Google
absolutely.
Classroom?
Send the link as an assignment through Google Classroom. And then I would probably have sent them the instructions for how to log in through Remind or Google Classroom or
both.
Dojo or however it is that you're communicating with them, because you can send those privately for their.
Well, thank you. That's what I'm going to do today then.
Awesome. Anyone else? Oh, cool. All right. Well, I guess if there's nothing else, then I'm done if you guys are.
Thank you, Rachel.
You're welcome.